Friends, I am not in exile. I'm on a mission.
Thank you.
Amen. Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop. We are not going to stop. Yes, I'm saying that to me, don't quote me, because technically I'm in exile. But spiritually, I am not. I'm on the move. And this move, the final stop, it might not be the next stop, but the final stop will be Kampala, Uganda.
Ekimu ku bitadde gavumenti ya Mwami Yoweri Kaguta tibahabulwa ku bunkenke mu lugendo lwa Robert Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine bye bikolwa bye ebweru w'eggwanga nga muno mwe muli okwanika ebikolobero byanyiga oba byatadde ku bannayuganda, mwe muli obubbi n'obulyake bwafudde omugano mu ggwanga lino, kwogatta n'okulinnyirira eddembe ly'obuntu, ekintu ekikontana n'endagaano gye baateekako omukono eya Vienna Convention wakati wa Uganda n'amawanga ag'e Bulaaya. Era nga mu ndagaano eno mulimu n'obuwaayiro obumu obulaga nti yenna akulembera eggwanga ku lukalu lwa Africa kati nga Uganda bw'ebanga ye yali mu ndagaano mukadde ako, abeerako n'amateeka agamukwata, kwogatta n'abo abeeyo mu bakyeruppe okutta enkolagana ye nabo mu ngeri empitirivu ennyo, nga muno mwe muli okubinika omuntu oyo envumbo, mwe muli okumutemako obuyambi, mwe muli okukwata n'okumukangavvula, kwogatta n'okukangavvula abo bennyini ababa beenyigidde oba ababa bamuyambyeko okwenyigira mu kulinnyirira oba okutyoboola ekyo kye baateeka mu nkola mu ndagaano yaabwe. Kyaddaaki olunaku lwa leero Robert Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine wali ku Town Hall mu New York mu meeting gy'abaddemu ne bannayuganda bawangaalira eyo mu America. Avuddeyo n'akonfaminga beyond doubt nti olugendo lwe mu America luvuddemu ebibala biyitirivu. Ebigambo bye mbirina kumpi bya ddakiika 20 naawe ogwana obyewulirireko oba olyawo ofune confirmation oleme kugamba nti ate Antonio byatugambye nga talina backup. Obutambi n'ebigambo by'omwagala bangi Kyagulanyi mbikuleetedde. Ono akubye ebituli mu tteeka erya Protection of Sovereignty Bill omwaka 2026 Generaali Yoweri Kaguta tibahabulwa lyateekateeka okubaga era lyayanjulidde Paalamenti. Era ayongedde okulaga obwennyamivu n'engeri gavumenti eno gyerimu bakawad oba abatiitiiza abayitirivu ennyo nti n'etteeka lino ekigendeerwa kyalyo kyakulimitinga bannayuganda abawangaalira ebweru waalyo oba ebweru w'eggwanga, naddala mu mawanga nga America, Canada, UK, bannayuganda abawangaalira mu Netherland, bannayuganda abawangaalira Sweden, bannayuganda abawangaalira mu South Africa n'amawanga agali ku lukalu lwa Africa oba ne mu Gulf. Bino byonna Robert Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine ekimu ku binnyumidde mu bigambo bye bigambo byayogedde n'agamba nti e Bulaaya tali mu buwaŋŋanguse, tali mu exile nga bangi bwe bakitwala okuba. Nedda, Bobi Wine agambye ali ku mission. Ebigambo ebyo byokka binnyongedde obuvumu. Mbadde nakawulira ebyo ate najja n'ekigambo ekirala ekimpadde obuvumu n'obumalirivu ne manya nti da revolution tukyalina olugendo era eyina gyeraga. Agambye nti amaanyi gaffe gonna tugatadde nnyo mu nkolagana yaffe n'ab'e Bulaaya bano kubanga be bavujjirira gavumenti e Kampala. Era n'agamba bannayuganda e Bulaaya nti engeri gye kiri nti amaanyi gaffe tugamalidde ku bano be bagaba legitimacy oba be recognizing omuntu nga president w'eggwanga. Ye mwami tibahabulwa Robert Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine akonfamingidde bannayuganda era n'abawa obukakafu abawangaalira mu America mu meeting eno n'abagamba nti legitimacy eri mwami tibahabulwa maneya ne emye. Amateeka gano gaabaga mwe muli lino eryatadde ku mwanjo ge gamu ku mateeka mwayagala okuyita okwefuula legitimate president wa Uganda, ekintu Bobi Wine kyagambye nti amala bya mu bulago. era kwayongeredde n'agamba bannayuganda nti beeteeketeeke batandike okupaakinga ebyabwe abali e Bulaaya, nti batandike opaakinga ebyabwe kubanga Entebbe International Airport erabika enaatera okufuna ku mirimu, enaatera okufuna ku ba arrivals abayitirivu ennyo mu bungi nga bannayuganda bava bweru, anti olwo nga Uganda efunye enkyukakyuka. Nkubuulira ekindeke ki byonna mbirina mu katambi ngenda kuba mbikuleetera, naye nga tetunnabafuna butambi obwo njagala nkuweeko ekimu ku reminder oba ku bigambo eby'enjawulo bye tubadde tujjanga twogera ku bikwatagana ku international relationship oba enkolagana ya Uganda n'amawanga gano ag'abakyeruppe, na lwaki Robert Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine e Bulaaya eno gy'addukira. Tagenda kukoma mu Amerika mwokka kubanga yeeyamye n'okugenda mu bitundu ebirala, yeeyamye ajja tuukako mu Gulf, yeeyamye ajja tuukako e UK, ajja tuukako e Canada, ajja tuukako mu mawanga gonna, Netherland wawa, Sweden wawa, ajja kugendayo yonna, naye nga effort amaanyi agatadde ku kintu kimu, mumutumire obuyambi oyo nakyemalira, bwe mumala okumumma obuyambi olwo mumuteekeko n'envumbo eno gy'alina emmaali ye era gy'atradingira ebeere nga takyayina ngeri gy'atuukayo. Kye nabagambye ku tteeka lino nkiwa kati mugenda mukiraba, kubamu akafaananyi nga mwami Tibahabulwa abadde atunda ebintu oba emmaali ebweru w'eggwanga n'afuna ejjuguli eriyitirivu, kati ng'etteeka limukwata nti gwe kennyini wabaga etteeka ku mulembe gwo nti omuntu yenna ng'ali bweru wa ggwanga miliyoni 4 kwakoma, gwe nga tulaba oyingidde miliyoni 5, mulimu ki gw'olina era okola ki n'omuntu oyo? Kyenva mbagamba mmwe ababaka ba paalamenti amateeka mugabage nga mukimanyi nti Robert Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine e Bulaaya gy'ali ali mu kubateekako ttaka, naddala mu abatambulatambula abaagala okuzunga, abaagala okuwuunyeera, mwe abaagala okuwuunyerera ebweru w'eggwanga abalinayo abaana bammwe. Buli we mulwalamu katono wano ne bw'okolola nti alinnye ennyonyi gavumenti ng'erabirira, mwekaabireko era mwenakuwalireko kubanga Kyagulanyi alabika ayongedde okubalinnya ku nfeete. Mukama Katonda yatuwa ebirabo mu Uganda muno, naye ekirabo kyatuwadde ennyo buli munnayuganda kyaganyuddwamu kye kirabo ky'obulamu bwa Kyagulanyi, kwogatta n'obumalirivu bwa Kyagulanyi n'omukwano Kyagulanyi eri gwalina oba gwalina eri eggwanga lino, kubanga byonna byakola abikola out of passion and love. Akannyumidde abakulu kye kigambo kye babadde baagala okutunda ennyo, Bobi Wine ali mu exile, Bobi Wine yawaŋŋanguka. Nedda, bambira era amaanyi gabawedde bw'ayatudde n'abagamba tali mu buwaŋŋanguse newankubadde nga bwe kyefaananyiriza okuba, wabula ali ku mission ene weenaggwera. Ebigambo bino kyemmanyi mwami Tibahabulwa tebigenda kumuleka kye kimu. Bw'anaafuna opportunity oba oli awo olaba katambi Bobi Wine mwagambidde nti ali ku mission, tebijja muleka kye kimu. Ye ng'amanyi kye yakola mu gy'ekinaana, amanyi kye kitegeeza okubeera ebweru w'eggwanga ng'eno olina president gw'oli mu kujojobya, akimanyi kuba naye mu gy'ekinaana 1982 yali nnyonyonyi n'agenda e Sweden okumitinga famire ye oba okubeerako awamu ne mukyala we, mutabani we n'abaana be ab'obuwala, kubanga during the war mu lutalo olwo yalina okufulumya famire waŋŋanguke. Kyobola abantu nuulira ab'NRM abagamba eyagamba nti agenda kulwana ate famire ye yagitwala bweru bali eri balya bulamu bawuga, ne Museveni lwa butabagamba ebyafaayo biraga famire ye yagitwala nga tannaba kudda kulwana. Famire ye yagitwala ebweru w'eggwanga, bwe yamala ogitwala ebweru w'eggwanga, in fact famire gye yasooka n'ofulumya nga n'olutalo terunnatandika. Kati nno ye Kyagulanyi yalinda n'akalulu kaggwe n'alyoka afulumya famire eya mwami Tibahabulwa yafuluma n'akalulu tekannaba. Kati gwali eyatugoberera kikulaga ki? Nti Bobi Wine mumalirivu nnyo n'okkira omutiitiizi Generaali Tibahabulwa, kuba ate ye yali amaliridde n'okubeera mu ggwanga abeeremu no matter the condition gye baali bamutaddeko. Kino kirala era kikulu, tebakulimba nti authority fe wane Uganda gye tugaba ye yenkomeredde, nti Electoral Commission ya Uganda bw'enaagamba nti ono yalidde era bwe kigenda okuba waliyo abagaba legitimacy. Kale abagaba legitimacy bwe baba nga balinnye kukyawa kati ne baluma ogwengulu ne bagamba nedda nga bwe mwalaba mu European Union Parliament abo be bamu kubagaba legitimacy bamala okugoba ne bamala okuboola wallahi byonna ne bw'obikola n'obimalayo ne bw'oleeta amateeka aga buli kika ne bw'oweerayiza n'okola byonna abange abaaliwo bo teyalayira Museveni teyamuwamba ng'alayidde kati mpulira yabagamba agenda kulayira temwina kye mujja kukola ajja kulayira obo teyalayira bwe yamala okulayira what happened did he lead the country ate ekirala mwabagamba mwaka gumu temunnaba kulagawo yadde akantu muganda wange mmwe kyabatwalira emyaka emeka Museveni yakatukonfamingira kyamutwalira emyaka 25 yalwana kuva 1965 bwabanga ye yalwana kuva 1965 nawangula mu 1985 y'emyaka emeka egyo ye Bobi Wine wa myaka 6 naye ataddewo impact mwami Tibahaburwa gye yateerawo myaka 25 golowooza ebbanga mwami Tibahaburwa aba yatwala lya myaka 30 okubaako watuuka n'awangula gavumenti nga mu myaka 10 yali talina recognized ng'omu ku abo abaali bajojo bya gavumenti kubanga yali akolera within government katunuulira Kyagulanyi myaka 6 gemukaaba gemukomba abali mu gavumenti kinaaba kitya omwaka ogujja ogunaatuukira mulowooza temubenga gavumenti ewedde nga teri mu mikono gye muteekewo 2 akabina kajja kuba ka 3 n'amatunga ga 4 ntoniyo bwentyo bwe njogedde kambatwale mu bigambo by'omwagala bangi Kyagulanyi byayogeredde nate ebweru w'eggwanga biwanvu mukko naye nkwegayiridde biwa obudde obimaleyo obeeko kyolondamu kubanga akadde kano ke tulimu atugambye we don't have time to give up tetulina kadde ka kuwanika we only have time to prepare we have time to prepare tetulina budde bwa kuwanika kubanga gwate weewunye tulwanye emyaka 6 abawambiddwa ne bawambibwa abakubwa ne bakubwa abattibwa ne battibwa tuwanike mu kadde kano nga tuli kumpi ntera nnyo okubawo ekyokulabirako ekyo ekyennyanja ennyanja munnange etera kuttira ku lukalu naye mumanyi lwaki omuntu avuba okuva eri mu makkati gaayo engeri gy'abaalengera olukalu amaanyi ne gamuggwamu n'anafuwa n'alekera awo okuteekamu amaanyi era bwe bankasinga abadde ku lyato ng'agikuba bangi batera kunafuira kumpi na lukala wano kumpi wano si wawanvu nnyo ng'eri gye mbadde muganda wange woolabanga okumpi we wasinga okubeera critical kana akadde ke tulimu kali critical nnyo n'okkira akadde ke twalimu emabega kubanga n'emabega nakyemalira yali ateebereza ng'akyali mu kuwakana nga tekinnaba muyingira mutima nti twagala kuggyako gavumenti oba okitegeera ekintu ekyo nga naye kennyini akyalimu olwa Joshua ng'akyawakana nti twagala kuggyako gavumenti ligale mu mateeka gennyini ge yeebagira mu 1995 nga tuyita mu mateeka gennyini ge yabaga mu 1995 Romushana ge yatuteerawo ne confirmation nti baagabaga kumukuumirawo amateeka ge baabaga omukuumirawo buli kadde agakyusa gakyuka buli ddakiika lwaki kubanga galemereddwa omukuumirawo tutambudde ne Sheikh Ashraf omulombi w'eddwa munoonyeko ku namba yewe eryawo gwe nayina embeera mweyite tali nnungi akulombereddwa embeera ejja kubeera ng'ateefuuka malidaadi temwerabira bannaffe aba Blessed Hope Bridals and Event Management nabo tutambudde nabo gwe nayina omukolo ogwa buli kika bakubireko bakola cake bakola makeup ku bagole kwogatta n'okukola decoration ow'omulembe oguliko omulembe guno bakola bayina tent mu buli bunene n'obutono oyina kakolo katonotono oyagala weema tenti nga nnene nga bagitimbye amataala agayakaayakana ng'olinganga ali mu ddiiro lyo banoonyeeko ennamba yaabwe weeri awo ku kkono ojja kuba bafuna ate yaffe eri ku ddyo ojja kubeera ng'ate onkubira twogere particularly online muganda wange nkubira ku WhatsApp tonkubira direct call wandiremererwa okunfuna olw'embeera emu ewa endala naye bw'ogenda online naye yali yagadde okubaako mu ngeri yonna gy'otuwagiramu yeye ennamba tulinawo ennamba 2 ku mukono gwa ddyo londako emu munnange obuyambi bwo bukyetaagibwa obwetaavu weebuli emitawaana e Uganda tegiggwayo gyafuuka nnamulanda nga mabeere gambwa n'olwekyo buli alina kaayina togaana kuyamba reach out otuyambeko mu buli ngeri yonna kale katugende mu katambi kano abankuumire Lugaba atakuumira mpeera.
I was in San Francisco and I met this old lady, and she held me by the cheeks, wondering whether I'm the one and wondering whether I'm still alive. Sometimes it comes to me and I also wonder whether I'm still alive. But here I am. I want to, first of all, apologize for reaching late. I really, really respect your time. And I know, especially in a country like America, that's where the real meaning of time is money comes out. So please take my apologies for being here late. I take the blame. I would have sent the blame to my brother who was driving me, but I'll take that blame, and I hope you'll understand. I found myself having so much to deal with in a very short time. I'm in New York only up to tomorrow, and yet there's so much to do. But nevertheless, I am here. And it is you, the white people, that say better late than never. I want to appreciate you for taking this time to come so we can meet and share a few thoughts. I mean, I keep using social media, and many of you listen to me and follow me on social media. You could have been there. But the fact that you came so we can interface and share these thoughts, please know I don't take it for granted. To the leadership, our chapter leader, Madam Deputy, Diaspora leader, all the leadership and comrades, I salute you. Thank you very much for not getting tired. This that we're doing is tiring. It is frustrating. If I could, I would share with you how many times I feel like giving up. But I know that much as there are so many reasons to give up, there are much more reasons to keep going. And here we are, still soldiering on until we get there. So thank you very, very much for not getting tired, for not giving up, for not getting frustrated. You guys that show up, you are the reason why even when I'm jet lagged so much like now, I find myself having to come and meet you. I told some friends a while ago that while I finish every day so tired and I'm driving back home, you find border guys that are broke, don't have fuel, but they drive in there, sometimes in their dozens, sometimes they're 50, escorting you back home. And then you're like, if these guys are not giving up, then who am I to give up? That alone keeps us going. Many of you, I see you on social media, agitating, pushing, and that keeps us going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That you do is the reason why people keep going. Why even me, many of you keep telling me I inspire you. But you don't know how much you inspire me to keep going. So thank you very much. It is us that are supposed to do this. It is us that the country has. Thank you very much for not giving up. Maybe briefly, and I keep saying it, earlier today I was having a meeting with the Council for Foreign Relations, and I told them that I'm not in exile. I'm not a refugee.
Yeah.
No, I am not. I'm only bearing all characteristics of a refugee, but I'm not. Maybe I'm still living in denial, but I refuse to accept that I'm in exile. My fight is in Uganda and I will go back.
Yeah.
I will go back. When and how, that is a matter of planning and getting ready, but I'll go back after doing the work that I have to do and face that regime. But before that, you all know I ran away from my home so I could still be alive some more. So I could be able to speak some more. My sneaking out of my country, my escape from my home, my own home, and finally escape from my country was for lack of a better word, a way of postponing my execution. Because as all of you know, we went into an election that was extremely brutal. And one would think that the brutality was during the campaign. But as soon as my wife and I cast our ballot, we were placed under house arrest. But that was not enough, especially for this imbecile son of Museveni that lacks confidence. Every time he looks at a common man or common woman that believes in themselves, they feel so threatened. So he ordered the military to raid my home the following day. But being the ghetto child that I am, somehow I eluded them and left my home. That didn't settle down well with them. They kept searching for me, as all of you were following, ordering his military to find me and deliver my privates to him. And then later on, issuing another order to deliver me to him, dead or alive, because he's so insecure and because I beat him at his game. Not the police, not the military, or any security institution could find me. They raided my home, beat up everybody there, tortured my wife and family members, stripped my wife naked and took pictures. Those cowards. A whole bunch of more than 40 men fighting one woman. But she again defeated them because they could not break her. They could not get her to tell them where I was. And she knew where I was. That speaks to the power of women and the power of resilience. Anyway, she ended up in hospital. And she also escaped from her hospital bed, ended up here in America with our children. I stayed in the country for close to 2 months. First, because it was dangerous for me to make a move before planning it in detail, but also to further prove to all and sundry that these guys are not as smart as they think. Their intelligence is actually not intelligent. And ultimately, I was able to leave the country, and here I am. Leaving my home and leaving my country was the most painful thing. I mean, I've spoken to so many people that were in exile, but I never ever imagined that a day would come and I have to leave my home, not with my favorite shirt or my favorite shoe or my favorite book. But we made it, and here we are. Meanwhile, the situation back home continues to be dire. Abductions continue to go on. As we speak right now, all of you have been following how Comrade Alex Wise from Mufumbiro was kept in prison, denied even the mandatory bail, what our law provides for, was thrown out of the window. He was denied the mandatory bail, denied the opportunity to nurse his dying wife. And even when she passed away, he was denied the opportunity to lay her to rest. All this is being done to break us. On the 12th of March, the home of my personal assistant, Don Sheriff Naja, was raided because they were expecting me to be hiding in his home. When they didn't find me or him, they took his wife. Everything was on camera. It has been no crime whatsoever. I could go on and on and on and on. But back home is not only depressing. There's also some impressing things that are happening. Our people refuse to give up, especially our young people. They refuse to give up. In the face of intimidation, wherever and whenever there's an opportunity for them to assert themselves, they have done it. You followed up in Makerere University, you are following in Chambogo, you are following other institutions of learning. But even besides that, the population itself refuses to give up. The regime has decided to revenge on people for not voting them. They are demolishing people's houses with impunity, trying to impoverish them, trying to, prove a point. As we speak right now, the regime is not only fighting activists and freedom fighters back home, but even here where we are. Now, they've brought a new law that seeks to make this that we are doing illegal. To make it illegal for Ugandans, even thousands of miles away from home, to meet and discuss the future of Uganda. If you meet and discuss how messed up our economy is, they'll brand you an economic saboteur. And they are threatening to declare us non-citizens. Imagine somebody who we know is a foreigner is trying to declare us foreigners in our own country. That can go on and on and on and on. But the good news is that our people refuse to give up. They are still standing strong. Now I'm here, many people, and you saw regime propagandists when I escaped Uganda, and the next stop was Washington. They went on social media and said, you see, Bobi Wine is an agent of the whites, he's an agent of colonialism. Why did he go to America? Why didn't he go to an African country? And they would be right if they were not idiots. Why? I mean, look back in the 60s, in the fight for independence, in the 70s, in the days of Idi Amin, and even the 80s, in the days of Milton Obote, Ugandan dissidents would just cross the border to Kenya and they would be safe. The likes of Museveni. Well, Museveni went to Europe. The same person criticizing me for going to the West. He was in Sweden with his family. But I mean, people like Dr. Kizza, Besigye, and others had their bases in Nairobi, in Tanzania, and other countries. Question is, how come then I did not go to Kenya? All of you have seen that the Ugandan dictatorship has gone ahead to export its impunity even across the border. And this, I keep telling the Americans and the Europeans that every time they tolerate a dictatorship, myself to the regime by going to Tanzania. Anyway, here I am, alive and kicking, and still going. The biggest question therefore would be, what next? What is the mission? Friends, I am not in exile, I'm on a mission.
Thank you. Amen.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop. We are not going to stop. Yes, I'm saying that to me, don't quote me, because technically I'm in exile. But spiritually, I am not. I'm on the move. And this move, the final stop, it might not be the next stop, but the final stop will be Kampala, Uganda. We have a problem, a very, very big problem. But we are going to turn this problem into an opportunity. Somebody say it after me. We are going to reach. It is embarrassing, even those that associate with it. And it's time for them to disassociate with it. When our forefathers were fighting against slavery, there are many that were supporting it until it became so embarrassing to associate with. When the Mandelas in their time were fighting against apartheid in South Africa, apartheid was the thing. In fact, back then the British Prime Minister branded Nelson Mandela a terrorist. But eventually, apartheid fell. It didn't fall like a miracle. No, it took efforts. I remember here in New York, back in the 80s, a documentary about apartheid South Africa was shown here in New York. It was launched here in New York, and it was shown in various, cinemas across America. And that alone was an expose that ultimately pushed the US government to acknowledge that indeed apartheid was evil and the US government plus all other governments in the developed free world to associate with. That's exactly what we are going to do. That's exactly what we are doing. And we are succeeding. We are succeeding. No wonder they are pushing back. If we are not succeeding, they will not be pushing back. We want to push for sanctions because this country has laws and those laws, they function. They have the global Magnitsky law that, is to the effect that corrupt governments and government officials and those that are involved in gross human rights violations can be sanctioned. Their properties, kuamba, what is kuamba in English? Confiscated and all that. That is what we want to do. We want sanctions on Museveni, his son, and all those officials that are involved in gross human rights violations, in the torture of our people, in the subversion of democracy, and even those judges that are so immoral and are so criminal that they present somebody to them that is grossly tortured, but instead of sending that person to the emergency room, they send them to prison. You saw what happened to Kakwenza. You saw what happened to Edmund and others. Sekirinya and others. So, it works, and that is exactly what we are doing. But also, and very importantly, to mobilize ourselves in the diaspora. Friends, you people in the diaspora are very important. For all these countries that have freed themselves, the biggest percentage of that effort has come from the diaspora. Finally, I want to thank the people that have supported us. Personally, I always laugh at myself when I say I'm homeless, because I am. The military took over my home. But I've lived just as comfortable as I was in my home because I'm surrounded with love. I want to thank you very much for keeping me fed, for keeping me clothed, for keeping me hopeful. Do that to each other. Do that to each other. Let us keep making each other feel safe, feel loved, feel secure. And let us keep the hope alive. So with those few remarks, friends, I want to appreciate you so much. Tomorrow, I'm being lined up for an award ceremony here in New York. And then the day after tomorrow, we'll have a leadership retreat in Boston. We'll engage. I keep visiting various universities. A few days ago, I was at the University of California in Berkeley. In the coming days, I hope to speak to the students in Harvard University in Washington. Hope to speak to the students in Harvard and many other places to ensure that this time, where the regime thinks I should be crying and I should be in a corner regretting why I ever got into this, I want to stand here and tell the regime that if I had to do it again, I would do it, and even more stubbornly. Yeah. Let us keep fighting. Uganda is going to be free. I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt about that. These things that you see the regime doing, show an exiting regime. If they were still here, they would be operating with confidence. But now, they're operating with fear. They are under fear. Let us keep pushing. One day, we'll be meeting in our own home. One day, we're not going to have to be shy about our country. We're going to be proud of our country. We're not going to have to be scared. We will be free, and that is very soon. But it's not going to come as a miracle. It's going to come out of the work and the push that we exert. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
People power.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. President. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.